My girlfriend is shy in a way that I don't understand. I'm making this post as a shot in the dark. Maybe some of you have come across something similar, or you can identify with my girlfriend's behavior and give me some insight into how to approach this. As I said in the title, she's shy in a way that I don't understand. She has no problem going to places where there are new people. She doesn't drink alcohol at all, but if I'm invited to a party where she knows absolutely no one but me, she wants to go. So in the beginning, before I know what it's going to be like, I of course invited her to come along. I still do, but then at the event, she will talk to absolutely nobody. Alright, I figured she's shy, she will warm up. We get invited to something else with the same people, and in the beginning, she'll make sure that she says a few things. This is my perception, and then go back to being silent. I've tried to talk to her about this. I'm asking her if she's having fun at these things, since she doesn't talk to anybody but me, and she says yes. I ask her if she's shy, and she says no. She has the willingness to socialize like an extrovert, like she has zero need to be alone, but she's social like an introvert. In our day-to-day relationship, this is not a problem, but I'm a very social person, and I've lived in many cities and have friends across the country. So during our relationship, it's been ongoing that I get invited to something with people she doesn't know. And this is why I put this on the internet instead of talking to somebody that I know, but it's not fun to bring her to these events anymore. She'll follow me like a quiet shadow, and I try to talk to her as much as possible, but we see each other every day, so my focus when out is to socialize, and then I feel awkward with her as my silent bystander. But then if I would not bring her, she has nothing to do instead. So she would be home waiting for me if I went without her, which also feels awkward. I'm actually an introvert by temperament, and I have a need to be alone, and I don't feel like I can carry conversations that are applicable to a trio with a silent bystander. When we're at home, she talks way more than I do. All of this combined doesn't add up. So Reddit, what do I do? Should I keep bringing her and feeling guilty and awkward? Or can I talk to her about this in a way that I haven't before to address this? She doesn't admit to being shy, and she has no problem going to places with all brand new people, but then when we had a contract to fix something at our house last time, she didn't go downstairs the entire time he was there, and I asked why, and she said, because there's somebody down there. She doesn't talk at all to her co-workers, but then she got upset that they didn't invite her to an after-work party. All of this is contradicting to me. In the comments, Amazing Still It Seems says, "What are you doing to bridge the gap between her and the relatively new people that you know better? Are you introducing her and providing a potential opening for her to chip into conversations? I think there is a level of social anxiety where you kind of know somebody but can't find anything to say to them. So you could be that bridge. For example, Kate, you've been to India, right? Jane has been a few times on yoga retreats, but she's never been to Kerala like I recall you saying that you have. Would you recommend it? If a friend approaches her, does she clam up or does she accept the conversation and continue it? When you talk to your girlfriend about this, does she want to work on this or is she content with what she is doing? I think the contractor thing is a different thing. People can often find it awkward to have a total stranger in their house. Lost Texanian says, I relate to the way you've described your partner. If my partner has an event, I will usually go and I will be content. However, I don't engage in conversations I'm not interested in, and I'm happy to just observe what's going on. In the right environment, I can be an absolute extrovert, but in most cases, I choose to stick by my partner because I enjoy his presence, and secondly, standing alone makes other people uncomfortable, and the only thing worse than that is when people try and force a conversation with me because they think I feel left out or lonely. I truly appreciate the effort, but it's awful. So maybe you should take what your partner told you at face value and see if you want to continue inviting her out with you, or see if there's any way to make yourself feel better about how she is at gatherings. I can relate to the partner as well myself, you know? It's not an easy feeling being that person, especially being by yourself at a total stranger's house. Completely get that. It's hard to just break into conversations with people if you're not that person and you're not used to that environment. I'd say go with what Lost Texanian says and, Take it at face value what they have said and see if you want to continue inviting her out or not. Or see if there's any solutions you two can work on together to kind of bridge that gap as a collective. I'm sure together you two could come up with ideas on how to make things easier for her at these places. The contractor one though, no clue, but I can completely understand. And now, onto the update. So it's been a month since I last posted about this, and I'm happy to say that things have improved. In part to some replies I got, but also from thinking about it more and trying new things. So thank you to those who took the time to reply. It was helpful. I'm sorry in advance if this sounds off, but after studying my girlfriend's behavior more closely, I sort of came to the conclusion that her problem is not being shy, nor that she doesn't want to talk to people. Her issue is that she is too polite. When in group settings, you usually have to claim the conversation to get to say anything, and she doesn't want to do this. She doesn't want to speak over somebody that is already speaking, and in group settings, there usually isn't long enough silences for her to chime in. What I've started to do, that seems to be helping, is that I can't think of her as an extension of me. We are not a couple going to a party together, we are two individuals. And if she was just another person in the circle, I would engage them in conversation every now and then. This is something that I didn't do for my girlfriend because we see each other all the time. I didn't think I would have to focus efforts in talking to her whilst we're amongst other people. But if I ask her a question in the midst of this, she does talk, and is very happy to do so because she was given the subject and the permission to talk. She's obviously allowed to talk whenever she wants to, but she doesn't give herself this permission. Edit. So this blew up. I didn't think it would get any attention, so I haven't been signed into this account, and I regret it because there's been a lot of interesting conversations in the comments, and it was also interesting to read that a lot of you identify with my girlfriend and feel like she feels. I can't reply to everybody now, but I'm happy you did take the time to comment. I also want to say that social willingness is not at all the most attractive quality according to me. I knew she was the one when I came over to her apartment on a rainy day, and she had lit several candles and was reading in her living room while she had Hogwarts library ambience on the TV. Then my brain was like, if this isn't it, then nothing is. In the comments, Mr. Buddha Wannabe says, "Good for you for recognizing your girlfriend's conversation style and accommodating her. I'm the same way. I'm a listener. I contribute, usually asking questions to learn more about the person, when I feel moved to, but only when there is a gap. That's why I prefer one-on-one conversations." And OP says, "Yeah, I understand her point of view. I was also more reserved when I was younger and working on giving myself permission to talk. But this adjustment seems to be working, so it's all good." Dr. Social Determinant says, "It's nice to see some attempt at actually understanding her from OP rather than brute-forcing interactions. Seems like a decent relationship. Or taking her and being uncomfortable with her or leaving her at home. OP seems very perceptive, caring, and compassionate. And he was even careful in how he phrased things on Reddit to not paint her in a negative light. Like, if she stumbled upon the post and comments, she wouldn't be upset with him, I don't think. I mean, I don't even blame the girlfriend. I still have trouble interacting even with my colleagues if they're older, and if it's a party with others in their 30s. If I was in my 20s, I would struggle. I can totally relate. If someone talks to me in a situation like this, I'm totally fine to talk their ear off, but I cannot start or join in on conversation. My body and my mind physically won't let me. It sucks, but I now just avoid some events where I don't know anyone, and I will be super awkward and shy and won't enjoy myself. Seems like there's a lot of people in both camps here that either struggle with joining in on conversations and talking over people, or struggle not talking over people in conversations. I'm very deeply in the camp of I will wait for the spot in the conversation to open up, and if it takes 10 minutes, I'm gonna wait 10 minutes. I'll let everyone else talk first. I just can't. I find it so hard to just cut people off in conversations because I'm like, damn, well, I had something to say 5 minutes ago that would have been fun, but I guess we're on to the 5th topic since then. I'm gonna wait my turn. And I see nothing wrong with that personally, and I'm glad that OP has recognized that his girlfriend needs to be invited into the conversation in order to work with the rest of the group. Crazy how communication and working together can solve problems like this. I'm sure if they work together more over time, they can get her to become more of a natural conversationalist in situations like this, and I'm sure it's only going to work better and better over time. So thank you for this story, OP. Glad to know it's all going well for you too. Our next post is by user Jiffy Biscuits, titled, "Am I the asshole here for deleting my girlfriend's Sims save files?" Let's just start by saying that I, 24 male, love my girlfriend Alia, 20 female, very much. She's a super hard-working girl, and she spends a lot of her time on classes trying to get the highest grades possible for applying to nursing school in the near future. When she's not doing that, she's doing chores or cutting down on her ever-growing to-do list. And when she's not doing that, she's spending 2 hours a day playing The Sims. This is where the problem comes in. After all the stuff she does, Alia doesn't have as much time to spend with me as she could. She's a perfectionist too, so when she's doing the more serious stuff like school, she puts in more effort than necessary, which is time-consuming. It really got to me that even knowing this, she'll spend so much time on The Sims. It's something frivolous she's doing when we already only get so little time together. She is also an adult, so essentially playing digital dolls almost every day is kind of something that she ought to grow out of by now. I decided to step in and have her cut back on this. I obviously didn't delete the whole game, but I figured deleting the little save files that she was working on would deter her from spending so much time on it. That decision backfired tremendously. When she logged onto her game, she thought that there was some glitch going on and kept restarting it until I explained to her that I removed the saves. She absolutely flipped out on me, saying she'd been playing in that save file since like 2017 and I had ruined years of game progress. Sims isn't even a gold game. What? I told her that she was overreacting because she still has the game and she could just remake her same little characters if it mattered so much, but it doesn't need to, and maybe now she can focus on more adult interests, like loved ones. Basically, she left immediately, saying she was so stupid to leave her gaming laptop at my place, and now she won't answer my calls. I know that this is a total overreaction, but I started to feel a little bad once I realized it may not be as easy to redo her characters as I initially thought. So, am I the asshole for deleting my girlfriend's sim saves? In the comments, not only are you the asshole here, that's some seriously controlling red flag behavior and unacceptable. What does it matter if she plays a game for a couple of hours a day? People aren't allowed leisure time? Who are you to control what they chose for recreation time? If you want to spend more time with her, be an adult and tell her. Yeah, you're the asshole. Absolutely. You got rid of something that she loved. Now she doesn't trust you, rightfully, and sees the kind of person that you really are. Good luck to Alia in her future endeavors. You're the asshole and a controlling arsehole. Guess what? You don't have to approve of your partner's hobbies, and she certainly sounds adult enough, considering that she's in nursing school and she gets her chores done. If you had a problem with her not spending enough time with you, that's a separate discussion, not deleting her shit. And guess what? It's healthy for couples to have their own interests and not spending every waking moment up each other's asses. I'm gonna guess that OP didn't actually write this one, and it's the girlfriend writing it from OP's shoes. Nonetheless, it doesn't make it a fake post. It just goes to show that a lot of people will fabricate their sides of the stories in situations like this, because I find it hard that the boyfriend would actually come on to Am I the Asshole here and post all that, like, in this form, without making the girlfriend sound at least a little bit evil. But yeah, definitely some seriously controlling behavior. This is breakup worthy. If you can't respect your girlfriend's personal time and how she chooses to spend it because you don't think that she's spending enough of it with you, then you need to do some introspection. You need to take a long, hard look at yourself and think, why am I trying to take her toys away when there was never any problem with her toys in the first place? I just didn't like that she was having fun without me. How dare she do that? How dare she be allowed to have fun without me and not on my say-so? So yeah, you're the asshole here. You don't get to control her life like that. That's not on. And now, onto the update. The next day, the girlfriend finds the post and answers the OP's question with multiple examples. Did you really think that I wouldn't find this post? Did you really think that I wouldn't see how you've been talking about me? I shudder to think what you've said in what you deleted. Why don't you tell them the real story? About how you not only deleted the save files, but also took a hammer to the backup thumb drive so there's a dent on your countertop now while I cried for you to stop. Why don't you tell them about how you tag along to my SI group after bio because you don't want me to be out of your sight? Why don't you tell them about my best friend, who's apparently so in love with me, literally lives in another state and only visits once or twice a year? Why don't you tell them about how when my mother was sick a few months ago, you were blowing up my line all day, every day for attention, knowing that I was her primary caregiver 24/7? Why are you telling them that you work full-time or that you manage a grocery store when you part-time manage the fast food place inside it? I want you to effing take this to heart when I say this, but I have genuinely been so much worse off for knowing you. You have destroyed my self-esteem with your constant criticisms of what I enjoy. You've controlled me in every way for as long as I've known you. You don't understand boundaries or when no means no. Your racist effing family treats me like dog shit, and your friends are equally racist punk bitch assholes. You ruined something that I've spent years of my life growing up with, and I could never bring myself to forgive and forget that, no matter how much love I've poured into you. I hate you for what you did to me and for what you've been doing. I mean that. I'm gonna make this so crystal clear since you didn't understand it the first time. We are through. Go F yourself. And on a further date, the ex's girlfriend comes back and says, my saves are restored. That's it. Sorry for taking a while to tell everyone. I went to a local tech shop a few days ago, and they helped me to recover everything. I hadn't had the chance to update due to the final season, and I'm typing this on my way to class, but yes, for anyone still wondering, I got everything back. In the comments, Sims isn't even a gold game? Tell that to my legacy save that I've been playing since 2020 and is about to flip over to Generation 23. Or the giant family tree in Google Doc filled with stuff that I've put into it. Speedrunning is not a real goal either, not until the player decides on a goal, at which point it becomes really effing important. I think we all know what he really means is, it's girl-coded, and therefore I don't need to respect her investment in it, especially with that dolls comment. I'm a big simmer, and this would be so upsetting. While Sims doesn't have end-goal gameplay, it does have goals and community challenges. Legacy play is a big part of the appeal for a lot of us. You start with one household, and then play it for multiple generations, controlling multiple offshoots of this initial household. So you can end up playing your original character's great-great-grandson with photos and memorabilia collected over their lifespans. And the world is increasingly populated with Sims that you've had impact on. If she's been playing one save since 2017, that's a big part of the gameplay and would be impossible to quickly replace. Yeah, it's good to have some comments that can give perspective like this as to why she would be so upset about this save file being destroyed. Obviously, she has a lot more to be upset about in real life, with him furiously destroying the save file with a hammer on the counter, so much so that it left a dent in the counter. Wow, who would have thought that the controlling guy was also violently abusive? Color me surprised, color me all shades of shocked. But yeah, for those that don't know much about The Sims, like myself, there's a reason people will invest hundreds of hours into the game, because they themselves find great joy out of growing and building new families and communities and seeing how that interacts in the game itself. I don't understand it, you probably don't understand it, and that's okay. But I'm still not going to go to your house and destroy your computer with a hammer. That's for sure. You enjoy your Sims. Our next post is by user ThrowRA and it's titled, My 27 male, girlfriend of 4 years, 26 female, has recently become obsessed with a male streamer, and I feel really uncomfortable about it. This is really embarrassing to even post about, and I don't even know if my feelings about this situation are valid, or if I'm just being a jealous boyfriend. So my girlfriend and I have lived together for 2 years now, and it's great. She's admittedly my first girlfriend, so I'm a bit inexperienced, but our relationship has been steady and happy, and I was planning on proposing to her this year, but my plans were squashed by current events. I know she wants to get engaged somewhere nice, but traveling right now is not smart or feasible. This was posted in 2020 at the end of it. So yeah, COVID. My girlfriend lost her job back in July, thanks to you-know-what, and it really devastated her. It was pretty close to being a dream job for her, so she took it really hard. She started panicking about finding another job in this market. I'm really fortunate to have a well-paying essential job and minor debt, so I was more than happy to let her have a real break for a few months. She was already getting kinda depressed from the quarantining, her job was work from home, and I thought that letting her rest and recover for a bit would help, and she readily agreed and was super grateful. She really stepped up, and the apartment was super clean, and she was making delicious, elaborate dinners. Since it's just us two in a one-bedroom apartment, there's not too much mess between us, so she still had a ton of free time. She became tired of all the stuff of streaming services and started watching more YouTube. Then her friends invited her to play a game with them and she got hooked onto it and started watching YouTube videos about it. I guess that's how she found this streamer. Let me tell you, my girlfriend's interests in video games before this was limited to mostly Mario Kart, so I was a bit taken aback by her suddenly watching Twitch and YouTube gaming videos 24/7, but I was excited for her to find a new hobby and interest, at first. Now, everything is about this guy. She follows him on every social media platform and is either re-watching old streams of him when he's not streaming, or she's watching him live. And this guy can stream for hours and hours at a time, mostly when I'm finally home from work and want to spend time with her. If I ask her to watch a movie with me, she'll keep an earbud in and still have him streaming on her phone, barely paying attention to the movie. She shows me a lot of clips from the streams that are funny, and I guess I can see why she thinks it's fun to watch him, but I'm getting really jealous of this guy. Her mood on the days that he doesn't stream is always low, and she acts really grumpy around me. She's paid money to become a subscriber. I'm not sure how that works, and I confronted her about possibly sending him donation money, but she assures me that she hasn't, and she's pretty good with money, so I like to think that she's telling the truth. But at this point, I don't know how I feel. I'm scared to hurt her feelings, especially since she's finally seeming happier these days. I made a joke the other day about how she likes him more than me, and she got really offended by it, so I don't even know how to broach the topic with her. I don't want to control what she does with her free time, but I feel like this guy has replaced me. At the same time, I feel stupid for being jealous of a guy that she's interested in and is semi-famous. It's not like she's his one and only fan. Am I feeling threatened for no reason, or should I actually be worried about this? In the comments, Professional Opening says, if I ask her to watch a movie with me, she'll keep an earbud in and have him streaming on her phone, barely paying attention to the movie. Yeah, this is fucked up. OP has to get a bit angry. Not over the top, but call her out on this bullshit. Something along the lines of, hey, are you serious right now? I thought we were watching a movie together. What are you doing? Like, I wonder if OP called her out on this when she did this. If he doesn't, then she thinks it's okay. Trees of Fascists says, it's Sykkuno, isn't it? He has that effect on women and men. That or corpse husband. I was waiting for the mention of a deep voice or something because this is 100% corpse husband. Yeah, those were some streamers that took over the 2020 era of gaming, mainly with Among Us. A lot of people will know, a lot of people won't know, and that's okay. But what we do know is that people form really parasitic, parasocial relationships with these streamers. And I know this because I have a friend that keeps sending photos and pictures and videos to our group chat of one RuneScape streamer. And he does it all the time, and he will spend hours playing RuneScape and watching this other guy also play RuneScape and other silly little games. So yes, men and women both fall trap to subscribing to other online personalities, and there's nothing inherently wrong with that. But when it starts to affect relationships to this degree, where she can't even watch the goddamn movie without having him in her ear, yes, that's a problem. That is very unhealthy. You need to be able to separate your stream watching time from your personal one-on-one time with your partner. If you can't do that and you won't listen to them when they ask you, please stop, please chill out, I need this for us, then yeah, you are sabotaging your relationship. I don't really know what to say to him besides, giving her an ultimatum. It's me or corpse husband. We can't have both all the time, baby. And now, onto the update. So here's an update. I read every comment on the last post. Sorry for not replying. I got really overwhelmed by the feedback I was getting and I kinda shut down for a bit. I acknowledge now that I really should have said something to her earlier before I let it get to this point. I posted that on Thursday, and I was really lucky that he ended up not streaming on Friday. I told her that morning that we should get takeout from our favorite place and have a little date night. She seemed really excited. I picked the food up, came home, and she was watching old clips, but I was able to get her off her phone, and we had a nice time together. I then asked her if we could talk, and she agreed. I basically told her that I was hurt by how she hasn't been paying as much attention to me since she started watching him, and that I was also worried about her mental state, because a lot of people had mentioned that she might be depressed. She apologized for the whole movie incident, but she really denied that anything was wrong mentally. I told her that I would even pay for therapy if she needed it, or at least try it, but she said no. She ended up really grumpy at me and went to bed early, so I guess I messed up that conversation. I felt so bad about how that night went that I wanted to make it up to her and plan a better date night for Saturday. I went out and got some stuff to set it up. When she woke up the next morning, I told her that we were going out tonight and she seemed excited when I told her that it was a surprise. While she was cooking dinner, I went out to my car and decorated it for Christmas. Bows and lights on the inside, I had a stash of Christmas candies and chocolates, cozy blankets, etc. We had dinner, and then she got to the car and was super excited. We went and picked up some hot chocolate, the music was playing, and I had a whole route of the best Christmas lights planned, along with a grand finale of the big local drive-through lights. We had a great time for about 30 minutes, until a notification popped up on her phone that he was live. And then everything went downhill. She started watching him, and I asked her to please be present with me. She told me this was a really interesting stream idea that they were doing, and I started getting really frustrated. She was missing the lights to watch him playing Minecraft. I pulled over and told her that either she puts the phone away for the rest of the night, or we're going back home since she didn't want to be present on our date. I told her that she could always watch later. The recording will be there. She doesn't need to watch live. I did get angry and raise my voice, which I shouldn't have because she started crying. I felt like an asshole, so I silently just drove us back to our apartment and she locked herself in our bedroom. I sat on the couch all night and I came to the conclusion that my feelings had been hurt one too many times. Maybe I didn't give her enough chances, but the pain was overwhelming and I decided that we needed to break up. 4 years gone, just like that. She woke up, and I told her as calmly as I could that I would not be the third wheel in our relationship to a streamer and that she needed professional help. She freaked out, begged me to reconsider. I told her that I didn't see the relationship being salvaged at this point, but maybe if she gets professional help, finds a new job, and stops watching him so obsessively that it might. She sobbed and threw a bag of her stuff together and left to her parents' house. Her dad called me screaming, and I tried to explain what happened, but he just didn't get it. She texted me saying that she'll come get the rest of her stuff after the holidays. So yeah, I guess it's over. Maybe I didn't give her enough chances to fix her behavior, and we might reconnect if she takes what I said to heart, but at the moment, I just can't tolerate it. It sucks that I have to be alone through Christmas now, and that I feel that I just lost my first love to a streamer. Thanks so much for all of your advice, and I'm sorry that I couldn't apply it better. I wish I had a better update for you all. In the comments, Jay Boston says, for future reference, when you plan a date night, keep it a date night. None of this, I planned a night for us so I can ruin it by making it about an issue that I have. Aside from that, I literally cannot believe that she can't put her phone down to be present with you in the moment, especially since you specifically asked her. I know it's hard right now, especially around the holidays, but you deserve a partner who's going to want to spend quality time with you over some dumb streamer. Most girls would kill for a guy like you. And OP says, yeah, that was totally my mistake. I was trying so hard to hold back from bringing it up, but I did anyways. I will definitely take your advice to heart. Jim2000Jim says, I still want to know what streamer that was. And OP says, most people guessed him right in the comments on the last post. I'm just anxious to reveal his name, and also, I know the dude did nothing wrong, but I'm not his biggest fan at the moment. Our HS replies, don't worry about revealing who he was. It won't affect his popularity since he literally didn't do anything other than live his life. But who was it? And OP says, Saikuno. Social media addiction and parasocial behavior are a hell of a combination. OP's ex needs help. This is not how a well-adjusted adult behaves. Nor is calling your daughter's ex to scream at them after a breakup. Maybe she hasn't had the best examples of normalcy growing up. Edit to add, I'm well aware that she won't have told her parents the complete and total truth. There is still zero situation where you call to scream at your children's exes. There are situations where you call the police or a lawyer, but not to scream at the ex. I thought the same exact thing. I'm assuming she's not a reliable narrator, and given the fact that she, a 26-year-old woman, thought that it was totally acceptable to cuddle on the couch, watch a movie with an earbud in, and insisting on watching a live stream during a cute night out with her boyfriend, she likely 1. Was quote-unquote blindsided, 2. Reported that he just lost his mind because I apparently wasn't paying enough attention to him, 3. Told her dad that he freaked out because I was watching another man's YouTube video and he got so jealous, he told me that I wasn't allowed to watch any more videos featuring men, especially that one. Gosh, it was so bizarre. Or 4. All of the above. She 100% was the victim of OP's crazy control issues. And yeah, this is different from that first story with the Sims world, because OP didn't react by smashing her computer with a hammer. Yes, she is going to definitely spin that story because she knows she's in the wrong, and when people are in the wrong like this, they don't often tell the truth. They like to paint themselves in the best light, and OP is going to be some horrible abuser that, yes, he set this date night up as kind of a trap, in a way, but he was trying to give her a chance, and he knew that she wouldn't change. So what are we doing here? I don't think that was the way to approach this situation, because it was obvious that this was going to lead to a fallout and a fight, but he already tried to talk to her enough times before that. I think issuing an ultimatum instead of bringing it to this cute date idea that you're just going to hurt yourself with was the answer. But I really never saw a good situation playing out here. I never saw this going well. And I'm sorry that it happened the way that it did, OP. But, these things happen. And that was COVID. A lot of people went crazy during that time. A lot of relationships broke down. Regardless, thank you for the story. I'm sad that it ended the way that it did, but that's just what happens sometimes, man. Good luck with the next relationship. I hope you're doing better now. And that's where I'm going to end today's episode, guys. I do hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know what you thought of it in the comments down below, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.